Hello guys, this is Potato Power MTG, and I would like to talk about some of the Magic the Gathering cards that came in for the Spider-Man set. Uh, I know that everybody knows this meme, Spider-Man pointing at another Spider-Man, one of them in this poster, the imposter. However, I would like to talk about something that I don't see a lot of people talk about, which is some of the cool interactions with imposter syndrome. So whenever a non-token creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create a token as a copy of it, except it is a legendary. So, how are we gonna go infinite with this card? And that's like, if you guys see my open tabs above, you can probably guess. That's right, baby. We're gonna go with Aurelia, the War Leader, the one card that has never, ever, ever, ever been part of an infinite combo with any other Helm of the Host cards or any other effect that creates another token. However, I think it's extremely funny because, uh, as you can see, Aurelia, cost does not matter. Legendary creature type doesn't matter because the token will become as a creature that does not care about the legendary part. But when it attacks for the first time each turn on top of creatures you control, after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So, if you guys have not noticed, this is an infinite combat combo. So what will happen is you will have Imposter Syndrome on the field, then you will have Aurelia, the War Leader. You will attack with Aurelia, even in the turn that you cast her, because she has haste. And when it attacks for the first time, it will untap all your creatures. It doesn't matter because Aurelia has Vigilance, but it is nice that they untap. And then after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. If your Aurelia connects, then Imposter Syndrome will make a token copy of Aurelia. Now you're thinking, Mr. Potato, Mr. Power, how the fuck is Imposter Syndrome going to work if the text on Aurelia says it is only the first time each turn that Aurelia attacks? And I will say, well, that is very rude of you to question me in such a manner. However, the token will be the thing that gives the extra combat. So after the token is generated, you will go into your next combat phase, and the original Aurelia and the token made with Imposter Syndrome will both attack. The new token copy will be the one that gives you the extra combat, while the Aurelia connecting with your opponent's face will be the thing that will give us another token. So it goes Aurelia attacks, it does its effects on taps. The Imposter Syndrome also creates a token of it. The token copy will attack on the next combat phase with the original Aurelia, and then it is the first time that that token has attacked that turn. Therefore, you will get another one of those combat phases. This will give us infinite combats, infinite Aurelia copy tokens, and hopefully you can win the game from here. Now, you'll be thinking, well, this is mostly going to be playing Commander, right? And I will say, like, yes, good observation. Imposter Syndrome is blue. Aurelia, the War Leader, is red and white. So on what kind of deck will these two cards fit in? And now, the first thing that everybody's going to be saying is probably Narset. Narset does not need these things to go infinite. Narset just goes infinite with a ham sandwich. Aurelia can drop on a piece of her, like one feather off the wings, and Narset will find a way to go infinite with that. However, the thing that will be the most funny will be this bad boy from Bloomborough that sucks a lot. However, it is extremely fun in this deck. So if you find a way to also connect with him, because this will be the commander for the deck, it has haste when Arthur, Marigold, Knight, and at least one other creature attacks, which will be Aurelia. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them into the battlefield, tapped and attacking. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. Return that creature to its owner hand at the end of combat. If with this piece as the commander of that deck, in which Imposter Syndrome and Aurelia will be a part of, now with infinite combats, you will go through every card in your deck that of course will help you. Every card in your deck, you're gonna be able to like put in the field and attack with it. So the attacking triggers or any of the creatures will not trigger because you will already enter tapped and attacking. However, you will still just deal the damage with the creatures, and they will go back to your hand at the end of combat. So any ETBs and LTVs will trigger. Enter the battlefield, and if the battlefield effects will trigger for the creatures. If any of those creatures have an effect that makes it so that they're like when they deal damage, they create a token, or they give you a benefit, or whatever it is. All of those triggers will still trigger. So if you have like, does not matter what your opponent does. Like if your opponent has, for example, Teferi's Protection, with this combo, as long as you have something on your deck that says damage cannot be prevented, you will still kill them. If they fog, again, if you have something that says damage cannot be prevented, it will still fucking kill them, because you just need something that prevents that, like negates the prevention of damage one time, and then it will just be like keep hitting them in the face, like with stuff that it will deal damage. Even with the first protection, it says your life total can't change. It doesn't matter. If you manage to hit him enough with Arthur Marigold Knight and with 21 commander damage, even though they never lost a life, they will still lose the game, because the game will still count Arthur as dealing damage to your opponent, even though it didn't cost them life. So if we look up Teferi's Pro, uh, which is one of like the best protection spells on the game. A lot of people think that until your next turn, your life total can change and you get protection from everything. A permanent you control face out. Yes, if you have something that makes it so that damage cannot be prevented, they will not lose life. However, they will still your commander will still deal the damage to your opponents, meaning that you can kill somebody with this even through a Teferi's Protection. This is an extremely easy way of, okay, I say easy, this is like I don't know, like a 17 mana combo, but it is not easy. However, it is extremely fun, and for the 3 players on the entire planet that actually have an Arthur Marigold Knight deck, I salute you, and here's my gift to you: Imposter Syndrome plus Aurelia the Warrior. Put this in your deck, and you will go infinite. Probably 1 out of the 30 games you get to play with this deck. But that's just something I found extremely fun. I would like to talk more about the Spider-Man set, not too much, because this is my main thing that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention. The next thing that I wanted to point out is, out of all of the Gwen, from the Spider-Man set, we have Gwen Stacy cards. I love Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, Gwenom. I like the character of the Spider-Man. I really like Spider-Man in general. My question is, why in the motherfuck we have like borderless classic comic cards with Miles Morales, like Peter Parker. We have also Venom or Eddie Brock, whichever one you want to call him. But we do not have a Gwen, like Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, or any of those in the comic books. On the collector booster boxes, she's in the foremost front of the boxes that they came in. Like Miles Morales is literally on the corner. Peter Parker is nowhere fucking to be seen here. Why is it that she's on the fourth? Like, it is perfectly fine that she's like on as a poster of the collector boosters. It's fine. I love her character. I love her design. But why did Wizards not make a borderless classic comic card of Gwen? If she's only available, like one of the main draws of the collector boosters are the borderless classic comic cards. Why is Gwen not one of them? Why did they only do Miles Morales, Peter Parker, and Eddie Brock, or like Venom? I don't remember exactly which one they made, but like, why did they? Yeah, so they did. Yeah, they did Peter Parker. They did Miles Morales, and they did Venom. Why didn't they do? Why didn't they do Gwen Stacy or Gwen Spider-Gwen or like any other iteration of that character as like one of the comic book covers? Like I just thought it was super weird. Like out of all the complaints you can make out of Universes Beyond, this is the one that I'm gonna go with instead of like the packs being close to $900, like the box itself being $900. This is just something that like was puzzling my mind. Why they didn't do the comic book cover art for Gwen, even though she's on the main freaking art of the collector boosters, and one of the draws of the collector booster was the Borderless classic comic cards. That was a long last rant. I'm done. But yeah, that's the only two big things that I wanted to talk about Spider-Man. Just bring this, just bring this imposter syndrome Aurelia into an Arthur Marigold night to you guys' attention. I thought it was really fun. I was thinking I was the first person that came up with this, and then I looked it up, and then already like 30 persons already mentioned something about this, which it made me a little bit sad. But I still wanted to bring it up on a video just because I found it super fun to even think about imposter syndrome Aurelia in our author night, where you get to bring your entire all the creatures on your deck into the battlefield at some point for them to attack your opponent. So yeah, that's all. That's all I wanted to talk about the Spider-Man set. I am excited for its release, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a nice day. Bye.